Got some great praying going on. Just flip these 5 days into flower. Nice and pretty. But man, this is what happens when your room floods, guys. What up, guys? Let's go check out the Spaceship. I got these new mics. I got the new camera. I think things are gonna sound a lot better. Things will be a lot more flat and level and less shaky and stuff. Not too much longer in here. Probably start the flush next week. We are day 43, week 7. So for those who don't know, I also mentioned flushing in the last video. Flushing is when you stop feeding the plants. People do it for the last week, sometimes the last 2 weeks, to flush out the nutrients in the soil. The plants don't need any more food because they're finishing. In my opinion and with my experience, it helps with the smoothness of the flower as you're smoking it. You're not getting this harsh cough, nose burn when everything's flushed all well. So flushing is really important. So yeah, once you're flushing, I mean, regardless of what time of year, what type of season it is, it's telling your current plants that it is the end of the season. We're also lowering the temperature of these rooms, changing the climate a little bit. Let's check these babies out. Some unicorn runts, looking beautiful. You can see there's a good amount of red hair coming on. A lot of the white hairs are turning red. The trichomes are ripening. This house I give 16 days. Let's see, it said 43 on that, so about a 60, 63 days normally. So yeah, it's about 16 days, 16, 17 days, these things are gonna come down. I'm gonna stop feeding them probably tomorrow or the next day, give them that real good flush, and yeah, turn the lights down a little bit too to mimic the end of the season, have the lights off during the middle of the day and then lower in the morning and at night to mimic the end of the season. The plants are getting a little less light, a little less nutrients, and get them really to finish, get them ripe, and the trichome's perfect. We're looking stacked in here, super stoked on this run. First run with the under canopies. I really think it's gonna be a record breaker in here. We got unicorn runts, black cherry runts, lemon cherry sherbet, nerds, carbon fiber, amaretto mints. There's some orange malt on bench 1 in the back. A nice variety of strains. I used to be able to do 1, 2 strains in here. Now everyone just wants variety, which I get it. Variety's the spice of life. I think too with like the terpenes and like you smoke one thing for a while, it starts having less of an effect on you. And then all of a sudden you take 1 hit of OG and you're fucking ripped. Switching it up gives you all these different effects and you know, keep smoking weed and you'll find out if you don't know. Look at that. Nice frosty. This is the carbon fiber. This is pretty. I like carbon fiber. I want to say these are unicorn runts. Or no, these are nerds maybe. Look at that. That's pretty. Let's see what this is. It is nerds. You can see the ripening on the, definitely ripening. What's when a lot of the yellow or white hair, whitish yellow hair turns amber. So I think I'm gonna make the call and get these on flush today. 2 weeks, these will be done. Look at that color change back there with the caramel candy. That's pretty. That caramel candy is a good one. And then yeah, into the carbon fiber. What's back here? Oh, this is nerds too. Yeah. Check these amaretto mints out. I've only done her 1 run so far, and it was in the mini banger, and she yielded really good. It actually finished almost pink. So we'll see what these look like in 2 weeks. Stuff, baby. Shooting for 400 pounds. I need 400. I feel like bong loads are like the best way to get high. Quickest, easiest. Don't get me wrong, I love mixing it up. But like, desert island, probably just give me a clean bong. Of course, if you break it, then you're fucked. All right, I'm gonna go feed the rosin wrangler greenhouse next door. That's my plan right now. We go around and do a hand feeding at the beginning of each planted run because the roots are really, you know, not spread out into the pots. I don't know why I keep saying, you know, you guys probably don't know. Anyways, roots are not spread out into the pots because they were just planted. So the emitters don't necessarily wet the cube that the roots are in. They're just wetting the soil. So we have to go around and hand water. So that's the plan right now. We do it like the first 2-3 times we water a space, and then we move on to the emitters just doing the process. So we're in the rosin wrangler. I have a bunch of plants vegging in here behind me. You can see these are all in 1 gallons. These are all in 4-inch. 4-inch, whenever I say that, refers to these little cubes. 1 gallons are these pots. Now I flower in 1 gallons. I usually put them in the 4-inch first and then put them in the 1 gallons, flip them to flower within 7 to 14 days. These ones right here, I'm vegging out in 4-inch and are going over to the golf course. Those are gonna be planted over there as the second run there. I also, in the back here, this is the indoor. So I'm using the sun to veg the indoor instead of vegging in the indoor. It gives us a chance to clean it, turn it over. It is already ready to go actually, but I prefer to veg in the sun. You can just see these plants look way better. They're just praying. Now with the root ball, the rock wool or the ihort, depending on what we plant into these 4-inch, being able to be wet a little bit easier and fed a little bit more controlled in these smaller pots, they tend to take off a lot more quicker in these than these. These are taking off. They look really nice. They're right there, honestly, pretty much identical, but a little bit nicer of a green, a little bit more quicker of a transition, I'd say. It's easier to get them going quicker. Now, sometimes saving the labor and time of planting them, that, and then doing it 2 weeks later into that, doesn't make sense to plant it twice. So it'll eventually all look the same. It's just kind of how you're doing it, where the plants are going and stuff. So as you can see, there are some wet small ones that I'll want to have evened out, so I won't hit those, versus these very light dry ones that are taking off will need food. So I'll go around and hit some, not hit others, try and even them out before we get the emitters going. There's 5 wide on the bench right now. I never do more than 4. So I'm gonna spread this out once all these plants are gone, right here, these 4-inch. Once these are spread out, and all the plants are gone through, we're gonna use all the good ones. We'll put the emitters in, veg them out the rest, and then flip them. Yeah, I'm gonna go through and hit all these right now. This is that spot where I come, hit my bong, overlook what I built, you know. Woo! Today we're gonna be cloning into a bunch of ihorts. We're also gonna fill a bunch of 4-inch with soil to put clones that are already rooted into those. We're going to spraying plant therapy around the farm. It's Monday, so we'll be hitting pretty much everything with the preventative spray for bugs and mold. We will be, let's see, I need to back my boat into where it goes because it's just out there. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Nice bong load, I'm stoned. Pretty good view though. Used to literally be dirt, grass. When I bought this place, these trees right here were teeny, just little planted. This walnut tree was here, huge ass walnut tree. Did all the landscaping myself. Built the greenhouse, went through the permitting process completely myself. Built the processing building, then applied to be a vertically integrated farm where I have all the permits. And let's be real though, Whose processing building's got boat storage and jet ski storage also? I mean, come on. Does yours investors processing building got that? Like a glove. It's gonna be another hot day today. Should be another nice day. It's gonna be a little cooler next week. Toward the end of this week. It's gonna be about 90, 95 today. Yesterday almost hit 100. And tomorrow's gonna be just as hot, I think. And then it's gonna dip down to like 75 to 80s, it's seeming. So that'll be nice. We're getting our golf course farm harvested this week. We're doing a bunch of clones. We'll be planting a bunch of 4-inch. We'll be spraying a bunch of stuff and starting to trim the indoor. So excited about processing the indoor towards the end of the week. Still got to finish the mix light, banger, and rosin wrangler. So the banger's actually already done. Yielded really good. 1,000 square feet, over 100 pounds. So that's really what we're shooting for, is 1,000 square feet is 100 pounds. There's some strains that just won't hit that. It also depends the time of year. If it's winter, it's a little bit harder to hit those numbers. But yeah, so banger did good. The Wrangler always does a little less because of the less amount of lights. So we'll see what the Wrangler does. That's next. And yeah, then we're gonna be trimming the indoor and smoking the indoor. I'm super excited to get some joints rolled to that one and see how she's burning. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow or the next day. So it's been like at least 10 days from when we chopped the indoor. Today's 7 days. So it's been 7 days since we chopped the indoor. Need to give it at least 10 before I start smoking and trying stuff. 12 to 14 before we start processing it. So let's pop in here real quick. You can hear the dosatrons clicking away, doing their job. Dosatrons. So I got the lights on in here for the first couple hours of every day. There's no need once the sun's fully out. Right now we're banging at 800 ppfd though. There's only 15, 16 days left in here. Probably get that flush going after today's feed, maybe after tomorrow's feed. I'm gonna go through everything, walk through each bench and really look at the flavors, really look at the different strains and see where we're at before I make that final decision. But yeah, looking good in here. Definitely gonna be a good run. These under canopies are what's happening. Yeah, the plant mass at the base of these things, it's just some big old buds from top to bottom. There's a bunch of clogged emitters right now we're going through. You can see this fucking plant. It'll be fine. But man, we're gonna go through and get new lines on this next run. And new drippers. See, look, these are us plugging spots. They're getting clogged. We try to reuse stuff as much as possible, but it comes down to, you know, we've been running this site for like 7 years or something like that, and this greenhouse for 5 years, so yeah. I was actually completely off on that last statement. I've been running this greenhouse right here for 7 years. It was done in 2018 is when we started running that one. And next door, I bought that property in 2018 and we started operating those greenhouses I built right away. We started operating those. So that was 2019. So that's 6 years. So 6 years. The processing building was after. So I think the processing building was finished in 2020, I want to say. And yeah, the indoor was first. That's right here. So the indoor was first. That was 2017. Bought this property before legalization, so that's how I got like a really good deal on it. Like, no one would ever grow here in the old times, you know, the illegal times, because it's super close to town, right in town. Sheriff's department's right, literally I could throw a baseball almost to the sheriff's department, it's so close. I mean, we are on the hill here still, it's like, but all the illegal growing was done up the hill over the years. So would you soak those ihorts in, Don?
Azos and Clonex.
Azos, Clonex. Get them all plugged in. Trays of 72. About 2,000 a barrel. 1,700 a barrel. Getting them all plugged in like this, ready for the team. Takes a little bit longer with this step than the rock wool because the rock wool's all set. You just dunk those, but worth it for the product that it produces. Right. So worth it. Takes a little bit more time watering. The clones, we don't have to, they're less crowded, so we don't have to cut a lot of the leaf off, so it's a faster plugging, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right?
Speeds it up.
Speeds up the plugging. Pallet's a 4-inch. This thing really makes that job easy. That's for sure, huh, guys?
Yeah.
Makes it so quick. So those pallets over there are about half the trays we need. And we actually ran out of trays because I used so many there in that first greenhouse, and I used so many for the other farm. So I'm gonna go up to the abandoned farms because I found a bunch. I found a bunch of, well, I mean, there's so much shit up there, but I found a bunch of trays up there, so I'm gonna go use the trays from the abandoned farms. And I need them to take this out to do it. Thank you. All right. I love this, how it's just right here though. So cool, but man, does it need work. Here's the old trash pile. Jesus. Quick trip to the old store. Let's see what we got in here. Hopefully a fucking animal doesn't come fuck me up or something. Jesus. Yeah, bunch of trays right there, I knew it. So we'll be inventorying all this stuff, making sure. We already kind of started. There's 2 more containers full of just random work shit we'll be using. So I'm gonna load these up real quick. All loaded up. You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, baby. We'll be getting all this cleaned up and seeing all the shit we really have, but for now, it's all right here. Let's head back real quick. Get these guys the trays. Here's our 2 3,000 square footers right here. Should be able to put about 5,000 to 6,000 plants in these babies. There's water storage, fucking trashed area where someone lived. The property with the biggest greenhouse abilities, 10,000 square foot. Down through here, and we are out back to Turk Mansion and civilization. Is this enough, guys, you think? Probably not. Motherfucker. Well, there's more. Jesse bringing pallets over so we can get 2 more put here. Start filling up the rest of these trays. Quick 1-minute trip up there to the store. Well, 3-minute trip up to the store, I call the abandoned properties. It's funny how much shit we've gotten from different farms we've taken over. It's just everyone just leaves everything. It's like those guys when they sold me those properties, or the whatever group that sold me those properties, didn't even come here. Literally, they all were wherever they are and did the whole deal with over the phone. Blows my mind, but. So I'm gonna go over to the golf course farm now, make sure everything's good there. I got all the guys the supplies they need to keep doing their jobs. It's gonna be a big push. We got a lot of work moving forward, you know, June, July, it's summer, like it's time to go, baby. It's time to work, crush, and yeah, make it so we can cozy up those winter months and just grow only 15,000 square feet or so. Check out this fully loaded breakfast sandwich right here. Yup. It's important to eat healthy, guys. Eat healthy, stay active. You can only be your best self if you're healthy. You know what I mean? Eat good. About to smash this. I drink coffee, but I like reheat the same coffee like 4 times. Breakfast of champions. I got this lizard pet. I swear, he lives under my ice machine. Where is he? There he is. There he is. He runs out all the time. He does push-ups too. Ooh, he's flexing on me. He's flexing on me again. Motherfucker. But yeah, he runs in there. Under that. I'm gonna cut this baby in half. The egg exploded. That's how you know you got a good sandwich. Look at that yeast. Eggs straight from right here. Where they at? There's a rooster. I think that's the one my kids named Orange Juice. Oh, he's fucking chasing that one. Do something cool. Do something cool. Well, what they do that's cool is they lay eggs for me. So, man, I was starving there. Got my little to-go Yeti. I'm gonna go hit the golf course now. First I'm gonna check, make sure everyone's moved on to the clones. They should be done with the 4-inch now. See how Byron's doing cutting clones, and then I'm gonna run to the golf course, and then I'm gonna run the big bar. So we like to do clones where it's cool because they'll start to wilt when it's too hot. So we'll probably set the clones up right here and do it behind me in the cold room. Just put a couple tables right here, plug clones, and then bring them straight out to the container out here. Some trim being weighed right there. Container over there. That's where the clones go. But yeah, sometimes we'll plug them in that vestibule area, but it gets a little warm in there. Plug them right here real quick and then bring them out there. The trimmers are going ham behind me in here. Oh, it is stuffed in there. I can't even go in there right now. We're wall-to-wall weed in there right now. They're literally weighing weed behind those double doors, so I'm not gonna go in there right now, but I'll show you guys in there later. This is our hash room, which you've seen, but just to kind of like get a little bit more familiarity of our building. These clones are in here right now, just waiting for the team to get plugging. Stay nice and cool, they won't wilt. It lasts a lot better in the cold room. If they get all hot, they'll start wilting, and you put them in the plug trays and they just fall over. It's not what you want, so keep them cool. You can put them in the fridge too, but with the fridge, the light turns off when the fridge closes. You want the light on them always. They're clones. We put 24-hour light on our clones. So yes, we got all these facilities, but we still have a tent. Still tent growers, baby. What's up, Byron? Cutting clones off moms.
Oh yeah.
We got the 10 by 20 tent here filled with moms, 8 lights. You can see these nice, big, healthy moms in here coming through, and we'll take, let's see here, you know, clone, 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 top clone, and then they'll bush out more and we'll be able to take a bunch more clones. We'll do this 3-4 times and then kill the moms and make new ones. So that's what we're going through and doing now. Just taking a bunch of clones. We'll also go through and clean up all this bottom stuff. We'll take cuts, take all these cuts off that we want. And these plants have only been topped a couple times. We took clones once and took just tops. So now they really bushed out. We're gonna clean them up, take a bunch of cuts, and then yeah, we'll be able to take cuts 2 or 3 more times before we change. There is frosted runts in here, bolo runts, unicorn runts, caramel candy, nerds, amaretto mints, and I think that's it in this mom tent. We obviously have the huge one at the golf course you guys have seen already. We got one other spot we house our moms. I think of moving that up, moving all this up. I'll always have this little tent in here until I build this building out a little bit more. This is really just our storage building right now. It's got all of other brands equipment, or other brands packaging, I mean, extra lights, all our nutrients, like it's all, here's a bucking machine for fresh frozen, just storage right now. But eventually I'm thinking a bigger processing room here and a bigger drying room split in half. So I have more space with all these other farms. I can bring all the product here with all the new farms I'm gonna be harvesting next door and all the other farms, like the golf course and stuff. The drying room's not the greatest over there. We pretty much do all the processing here. But these are the healthy moms. They look great. So it's pretty crazy. That's a 10 by 20 tent, and we can get like between 5,000 and 6,000 clones if we're really pushing it. We got them really stacked up in there. They tend to be a little bit smaller towards the end of the clones. They're maybe not quite as big as I would want them to be when we cut that many, but it's amazing how many clones you can get from a space like that. As long as you got really healthy moms, good conditions. We obviously need more than just that. We have the huge mom house at the golf course and one other spot at Big Bar that I'll show you that we keep moms. But Humboldt Electric's here today. So we had one bench of the under canopy lights going out in the Spaceship. It would just like flip once a day. I'd have to go in, flip the breaker, flip it back on, and then it would go out a couple hours later or whatever. So he was just testing to figure out what it was and figured it out, and now we should be good, he said. So let's check out the under canopies. So looking good all the way on from front to back. Good to go. Always fixing stuff, literally. These systems come with a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of equipment, especially when you're like me and you like to try new shit all the time. Try new technology coming out. So these are the iHorts we use. Comes in a bag. Dump those bitches in the solution. How long we soak them for is like the shortest amount of time. Like an hour is probably fine, right? But overnight's probably the best.
Oh, I soak them all weekend.
Yeah, all weekend, yeah. I want to make sure they're definitely soaked for those first couple days. They dry out so much quicker than the rock wool.
Yeah.
What did I have for dinner? Fuck, I don't remember, bro. What did I have for dinner?
It was like a few hours ago.
I want to say I had like some type of sandwich. I don't remember. Oh, I had chicken, asparagus, and pasta with Alfredo sauce. Fire. What are you guys cutting on right now?
KK? The
Caramel candy.
Caramel candy, yeah.
What were you about to say?
Caramel crush.
What are you doing, bro?
Weighing out some marijuana.
Oh, yeah? Weighing out your head stash and the team's head stash?
That's all me.
God damn. Wait, hold on. Say that again, bro. What did you call that?
It was implied, okay, what I meant, alright?
The
I
thing-
was saying, yeah, I was like, how do you guys like the new thingy mahuggers?
The thingy mahuggers.
Ain't never fucking
What is he
heard of
talking? What are you talking about? What? The plugs? Oh, the eye horts. Jesus Christ, dude! I had no idea what you were talking about. So yeah, I'm on my way to check out the big greenhouse, the big 15,000 square footer. It's right along with the Spaceship. About 2 weeks to go. I flipped it a couple days after the Spaceship, but being that it's a lot hotter out there, greenhouse gets a lot hotter. Everything finishes up a little quicker. 55, 56 days instead of your 60 days. So it's about a line with the Spaceship. Stoked to get its first run done early. We only did 2 runs there last year, so I'm excited to get 3 in. I really just need a power drop there. Then once I get a power drop, that greenhouse I can put 300 lights in it, and it's a year-round greenhouse. It's just in the winter with no sun. It's with 88 lights over 13,000 square foot of canopy. It's not worth it. These guys right here barking at me like crazy. No, don't get me wrong. We love dogs. Dogs are great out here for security. I got a Rottweiler. I had 2 Rottweilers actually. We love our dogs. But for this video, I have to get my little mic on. Make sure you guys can hear me. The ones here are very aggressive and very loud. But rural 60 acres we're on right now. One neighbor, so they tell the neighborhood there's someone here. You know, if it happens at night, it's like a what the fuck. Everyone starts calling each other, all the neighbors. Dogs are good. Oh man, it's hot. And I have it set to have these blackouts close a little bit if it gets above 90 in this greenhouse, because we're finishing up in here. So as you can see, it's closed halfway. So I am hitting these plants for an extra 10 minutes right now, water. It's hot as hell in here. 2 of the breakers were actually flipped. So 2 fans out of the 8 weren't working. Got to get those back on. Probably flipped just because the sun's beating on them. It's just so hot. The greenhouse has a weather station, really nice weather station, and it says it's 113 degrees outside here right now. And it's holding 95 in the greenhouse, which is great. And that'll drop down a little bit here once the other 2 fans really start ripping for a couple to 10-15 minutes. But yeah, everything's looking really good in here. I'm gonna chop this maybe even right before the Spaceship. It's hot as hell. It's looking real done. Product's looking really good, very nice quality. Fade's going on. It's definitely fading a little bit more than the Spaceship is right now. But real big buds, real nice structure to most of these strains. Let's go look at the chem. I'm always like loving that strain. It's just old school funk, you know? So I got a bunch of Gelato 41 right here. That's where it gets green. And then this is a bunch of chem moving into here. This looks huge. Yeah, these are big. Definitely good red hairs coming in on them too. Moving into the LCG, look at that, just bushes. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to the mansion. I gotta meet these buyers, so we're gonna get back there. This chem smells so good, oh my God. Definitely done. It is red-haired out the yin-yang. So get these on flush, give them another 12 to 14 days, and we're gonna get out of here with this run and replant right away. So I drove out to that farm, Big Bar, thinking I was gonna harvest the Spaceship and then Big Bar. Now I think I'm gonna harvest that greenhouse first. It's looking more done. Set to flush today, got it on a water only. And I think that one's gonna have to come down right before the Spaceship, probably 12 days, and then the Spaceship, it'll take 2 days to harvest that big beast. and then we'll do the Spaceship right after, have all that come down at the same time. I'm gonna go meet with these buyers real quick now, and then I'm gonna go check out the golf course, and then I'm going to have some food and swim in the pool probably. My kids will be home. It's our last week of school this week, so Mondays are always out early, so they'll be home, and go see them, spend some time with them, hang out with them, and then get back to everything tomorrow. Oh, there's so many construction stops. It's so annoying. They say they're going to be done with this highway, Highway 299. Got it tattooed somewhere on my arm. There it is. They say they're going to be done with this highway in 2025. This is the highway that made me, you know? That's why I got to have it tattooed. 101, 299. That's how you get from where I grew up, Petaluma, to Willow Creek, where I own property now. So, well, I dealt with that buyer. He just took a bunch of the work, make it quick and easy, and left me a deposit also for some of the stuff we got to be trimmed moving forward. It's really how it is here. It's like if you want it, otherwise if someone just comes, I'm gonna sell it to them, you know? If you want some stuff that I'm gonna have next week and you're not gonna be here, then tough titties unless you leave me money. I'm hot as shit. It's freaking 1,000,000 degrees. Kids just got home, so I'm about to say hi to these rascals. This is who we all do it for, you know? Hi, baby girl. What you doing, headset head?
Yeah, I'm playing I Am Cat.
Who dat?